First of all, we want to thank Civic Ventures for honoring the work that we have done. We are grateful for your recognition and humbled by the honor that you have bestowed on us tonight. We also want to thank our daughter, Jane, who has worked many, many long hours by our side from the very beginning. We could not have done this without her. Our son, Jeff, though he lives quite far away from us, has been a constant source of expertise and support. On September 11th, 2001, our entire world fell apart. Our youngest child, Peter, was murdered by terrorists while attending a conference at Windows on the World at the World Trade Center. He didn't work in the building, and he was just 25 years old when he died. My husband and I searched for a way to honor his life. This was not easy. We've been married for 46 years, and we have never agreed on anything.
Yeah, we have.
See? Disagreeing. Steve thought that maybe we should endow a chair at a university, and I was thinking about maybe placing a small playground in an underserved area. I was not sleeping much in those early months, and one night I watched a Nightline broadcast, and this was about 8 months after Peter's death, and I learned that there are 1 billion people, 1/6 of humanity, have directly experienced torture, terrorism, or mass violence. And of these 1 billion people, at least 50% of the survivors were no longer able to lead functional lives because of incapacitating traumatic depression and PTSD. They couldn't work, they couldn't care for their families, children were not going to school. Many of these people could not even leave their beds. I learned that in sub-Saharan Africa, more people suffer from incapacitating traumatic depression and PTSD than from HIV/AIDS, malaria, and TB combined. There was nothing that we could do for Pete. He was killed because of terrorism. But if we could help those people who had survived the event but were still unable to live their lives, then this was the perfect memorial for him.
During the past 7 years, starting from just an idea, the Peter C. Alderman Foundation has distinguished itself as a leader in global mental health. We have trained...
Squeaky.
Yes. Did I talk while you were... We have trained 385 doctors in 20 post-conflict countries on 4 continents around the world. We have operated and continue to operate 9 centers of excellence for the treatment of traumatic depression in Africa, Asia, and Central America. Foundation-trained personnel have treated over 100,000 people suffering from traumatic depression, and this includes some of the 35,000 children who are returning child soldiers in Uganda. The Foundation's partners include the governments of Uganda, Rwanda, Cambodia. It includes medical schools, Harvard in America, and Makerere in Africa. We are major partners with Partners in Health, as founded by Paul Farmer, an international NGO that treats HIV/AIDS, TB, and malaria. We also are partners with key members of civil society, including monasteries and churches. We are adding to the scientific evidence base so that we can determine best practices for treating war-induced traumatic depression and PTSD. And we are beginning to see that 90% of our victims are returning to functional lives. Recently, we were delighted to learn that the Peter C. Alderman Foundation was named by Barron's magazine as one of the 10 most effective small charities in the United States. When people look at what we've accomplished over the past 7 years, they often say that they could never aspire to what we have done. But if you'd asked us 7 years ago we would have said that we couldn't do it either. When we reflect on the reasons for our success, we believe that the most important component was our passion to leave a mark, that Peter existed on the earth, and that because he had lived, the world would be a better place. Passion fueled our capacity for vision, for hard work, and for on-the-job learning that was necessary to create the Peter C. Alderman Foundation and the healthcare systems that it's promulgated around the globe.
I'm snoring. It's tough when you're two. We're very ordinary people, and if you will, sometimes common as dirt.
No, wait a minute.
In my past life, I was a special education teacher for 8 years and then felt very privileged to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. Steve is an oncologist. We knew nothing about the world of business or philanthropy, but with passion and extraordinarily hard work, you can accomplish anything. You can change the trajectory of your life. You can truly change the world. Peter would be very proud of the foundation that bears his name. And if he could see us standing here tonight, he would think his parents were a hoot. Thank you very much.